Hello, I'm a little bit early on this site tonight. Couldn't get onto the other group today, so we will go on this group early, which will probably be a bit weird for some of you. Anyway, hello you lovely people out there. Quite excited because it's a full moon tonight. It's very exciting. We love the full moon. My name is Amanda Samadhi, for those that don't know me. I am a Reiki Master Teacher, Seiki practitioner, energy healer, plus a light worker and a consultant for Arbonne. Okay, so if you know anyone that might want to listen to this, because it's all sorts of things going to be spoken about tonight and it might just help them. So if you could possibly share it, it would be great. There might be somebody out there that it might just help. Okay, tonight, one of the subjects we're going to talk about is loneliness. Okay, loneliness can be really, really hard if you let it. Okay, at some point in our lives, everybody has been lonely at some point in their life. Have you ever walked into a room full of people and still felt lonely? That is a real common thing. I once went out on an evening and it was New Year's Eve and I thought, I really don't want to be here. The pub was packed and I really wanted to go home, but I'd had too much to drink, so I had to sit there and really didn't want to. I felt quite lonely at that time, a long time ago. Don't feel like that anymore, which is good. You can also feel alone in a relationship, which is another strange old feeling, but it does happen. Loneliness is a really weird feeling. It is an empty feeling. It's even like a sinking feeling, okay? But remember, it is only a feeling and it's only you that can change that feeling, okay? But guess what? There are loads and loads of things that you can do to stop you from feeling lonely, okay? There's all sorts of sites that you can go on. Even if somebody the other day, which I thought was wonderful, typed in and said, I really need some friends, I'm so lonely. I mean, it was so lovely, and I did become her friend. Obviously I couldn't help myself. But she's very sweet and she's adorable, but in her job she just couldn't make any friends, so she just put it out there, which is the thing to do. Don't sit and stew on it and say to yourself, oh, I haven't got any friends, I've got no one to go out with. Go find them, because they are there. And there are a lot of lonely people out there, especially at this time. Okay, but we are all here for one another. So one of the things you can do is a couple of challenges for you this evening, right? Because it's all to do with learning to love yourself. Okay, so one of the ways to get rid of the lonely feeling is learn to love yourself, learn to be on your own. Learn to be by yourself, then the loneliness will never happen. Okay, every now and then I might get a bit lonely, but it lasts for a moment, because what I do is I take a deep breath and I go within myself, and it's good. It's a really good thing. So the first challenge you can do, a lot of you probably have done this, but there's a lot of you out there that haven't. Okay, so go for a coffee with yourself. Even buy yourself dinner. This might seem really, really strange when the first time you do it. I remember the first time I went out to have dinner by myself, I felt really weird. But it's really good. The amount of people, if you smile, they smile back at you. It's a really good feeling. That's an uplifting one. Now the next one is quite a hard one, because this is all about self-love too, okay? Which not a lot of people love themselves at all these days. I didn't, but I do now. But anyway, so what you do is you take a deep breath. You can light a candle, and then you have to sit and write yourself a love letter. This is one of the most weirdest things that you will probably ever do. But don't laugh. You might laugh, but it is really, really good to do. Because what you're doing is you're writing yourself a love letter from yourself, which means you are giving love back to your own heart. Okay, so you're not expecting somebody else to give you love. because you already have that love inside you. You find that love within inside you, and the love will come to you automatically. Okay, you become whole. If you go looking for it outside of yourself, you could attract the wrong type of love. Okay. The longest journey you will ever take is from your head to your heart. Longest journey. But that's where you want to live, in your heart. See, we were told as kids, oh, stop daydreaming, stop living in your heart, come into your head. It's not, it's the other way around, okay? But it's a shame that it takes most of your life to realise that if you talk to someone from your heart and not your head, it will get you a lot further, okay? So when I first started my path, this felt really silly, but I so wanted to change, and I did not want to feel lonely, unloved, wasn't enough. I was so fed up of feeling like that. So I decided to do something about it. And this is what I am now passing on to you through the things that I have learnt and are still learning, because you never stop learning, okay? But when I first started doing this, I could not stop writing of all the things that I would like in my life, okay? They did come into my life, which was really good. So yeah, loneliness. Just write yourself a letter of how you want to feel and have a go. It's really, really uplifting. I can honestly say that I do not feel lonely anymore. But as I said, there are a couple of days I get up and I think, oh, this is hard. But it's really good. So don't look for love outside of yourself, and the love within inside yourself first. I do write myself letters quite a lot. Okay, not love letters sometimes, but it's better. If you have young children, one of the things that you must not say, I've learnt this through a little course that I went on. Some of the things that you say to your children are not good. I've said this to my kids. So if you say things like, if they fall over, if you say things like big girls or big boys don't cry, is one of the worst things you can say to a child, okay? Because that child does become an adult, and that adult thinks that he's a baby if he cries. But all people need to cry, even chaps. So even you chaps need to cry every now and then, okay? Don't ever hold the grief within inside yourself, because it will make you ill eventually. It can cause all sorts of things. But by crying, you are releasing the bad energy. So this is for chaps too. Okay, it's not just women. Probably women can cry quite easily. Not all of them, but men find it harder to even cry. The more you open your heart, the better it is. If you are closed off from your heart, it can make you bitter. Not good, okay? So just open your heart. It won't break. You just got to look after yourself and put boundaries in. That's all you have to do. So it's very important to breathe. Breathing is the first thing you do when you come into this world, and it is the last thing you do when you leave, okay? The hard bit is in the middle, which is where we are now, okay? Life can be hard. It is only hard if you make it hard, okay? Don't look at other people. It's all about you. So it's very important to teach your kids how to breathe properly too, because if somebody is annoying you, and your breathing will automatically become shallow. So you're breathing like that, which means you're not getting oxygen to your brain, okay? And the oxygen isn't within your blood, which means you're not being in your true self, okay? What you have to do, breathe in the oxygen, breathe out bad energy, okay? So real deep, take the breath from your belly and then let it out of your mouth, okay? The best thing to do too is if you can stop during the course of a day. I was with a young lady today that she might be watching, I'm not quite sure. But she was a beautiful girl, and I've told her that what she has to do during the course of a day Hello, Gerald. Nice to see you there. During the course of the day, to take 1 minute out for herself. Well, actually, I started her at half a minute because it's quite hard when you begin to give minutes to yourself. But I made her set her timer 4 times a day to stop and breathe. Because if you take deep breaths, it's reminding you that you are in there, okay? So breathe in the oxygen and breathe out the negativity, which is there is a lot of that around at the moment. I can feel it when I'm in Tesco's, the worst place, but you just get on with it. So anyway, that's enough of that, all to do with the full moon, which is my favourite subject. I'm all about the moon and the stars because they create all sorts of things. They can put you in a very funny frame of mind. It can do all sorts of things to people. Some people it sends them a bit la-la, and other people makes them cry. You can do all sorts of things. Anyway, what we're going to do is a little ritual, which is what I do every full moon. A bit difficult tonight because it's now raining. So a ritual, which means that you can manifest something into your life, or you can release something. So if there is something that you want to release that you really don't want in your life anymore, what you do is you write it on the piece of paper. You can write exactly what you want on that bit of paper. You haven't got to show it to anybody because it's your thoughts, your mind. It's all about you, okay? Then what you do, you write on the piece of paper something that you want to release. You've got to set your intention. So if you want, say you want, let's go light-hearted. Let's say you want a new job, okay? You want to release your old job. So what you do is you write on the paper, I'm no longer happy in my job. I no longer would like my job. I would like to move on to my new job. So you are releasing and you are manifesting at the same time, okay? You can manifest a new person in your life. But just write it down with the intention. You can say it out loud, or you can keep it inside. Good. The more details you have, the better it is for the manifestation. Okay. Now this really works. This stuff might sound a bit cuckoo, but it's not. It works. Okay. But something you must remember: be very, very careful what you do write. Okay. Be mindful of what you write. Don't go writing silly things because they can happen, okay? So be very careful what you write. It's very powerful. Then once you have written that and you are happy with what you have done, take it into the garden or into the sink and set fire to it. Okay, so yeah, don't make it a great big long piece of paper. Small piece of paper is good. But do be extremely careful. Okay, so what you do is once you've set fire to it with your intention, release the intention and just forget about it. Make sure that the fire is out and crack on with your day. And trust me, it does work. I've manifested all sorts of things in my little life. Remember the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. It is so true. Okay, so whatever you have written on that paper, if it is about a person, be extremely careful that they don't see it because it can be quite hurtful. That's why I'm saying to you, be careful what you're writing. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing later on. Right, the next thing, and probably the last thing for my little talk tonight. Some of the things that I'm about to say, I need you to think of, are they things that you say in your life? Okay, so do you say I am sorry a lot of the time? Do you ask the same person, are you all right all of the time? Do you give gifts to people, but never very good at receiving? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, it means that you could be a people pleaser or a rescuer. Neither of those things are good for your soul, okay? You've got to stop it. Yes, it's not good for your inner self. Now, I'm not saying to you, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to you that you shouldn't give. I'm not saying that. but there is a give and take. You get takers and you get givers, right? Let's, for instance, I am a giver, okay? Which means in my past lives, I attracted takers. In fact, I would probably say 80% of my life I attracted takers. Not anymore, okay? Because it's only me that can put it, or yourself can put it right, okay? So to stop the taking from your life, it's only you that can stop it. It wasn't their fault, it was me that let them. So it's only you that lets the people take. And I would just say they would just keep taking until eventually there wasn't anything else left to take, okay? So I still have some takers in my life, but I don't allow them to take as much as they did. We've got to be careful. So a giver and a taker. What are you? So saying sorry all the time is another one I used to do. I used to say sorry for the most silly things, you know, and in the end, you're not using the word sorry correctly. Okay, so if you use the word sorry a lot, you're not really sorry. It depends on the circumstances too. Then I met somebody who was sorry all the time, and it's really quite annoying because they don't actually mean it. Every other word was sorry, and it is quite annoying. So now, once I knew that it was annoying, I stopped doing it. So now I'm not sorry at all about anything that I do. Which is right, because you learn, as long as you learn through your mistakes, which is a shame it took me 49 years to realise some of the mistakes I made, but I now listen to myself all the time. Yeah, that's enough of that. So no more sorriness, okay? Don't be sorry. What you're doing is by keep saying sorry to somebody and not really meaning it in the right text, you are giving your power away. The more you give your power away, the weaker you become. Okay, so you need to stop saying sorry so much. Remember, you've got to put the seatbelt sign. When the seatbelt sign comes on, you must put your seatbelt on first before you go around helping everybody else. So what I am saying is look after number one first. This does not make you a selfish person. And never, capital never, feel guilty. If somebody makes you feel guilty for having 5 minutes out to yourself, this is not right, okay? If you say to somebody, right, I'm just going to have 5 minutes to myself, and they go, oh, what? You know, and it's a bit not right, then that is their problem, not yours. You should take time out for yourself, whether it be start with 1 minute, get it up to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is fantastic, okay? You don't have to sit there and meditate. It's good if you can. But yes, so that's that. So if you need to know or you want to discuss any more of the things that I have talked about tonight, don't hesitate to contact me. Happy manifesting. And don't forget, be very careful how you put the fire out, okay? So don't go around sort of setting fire to everything. So next week I'm going to give you some things of how to, some common ailments that you have in your life, rather than you using, yes, the big word paracetamol, which is a complete no-no, okay? So if you have common ailments like headache, I'm going to teach you how to get rid of that without having to take paracetamol, because if you take paracetamol, it does all sorts of weird things to your body, okay, which isn't very good. So love and light to you all. Stay happy, try and stay safe out there, and happy manifesting. And we'll talk about it next week, how you get on. But don't hesitate to call me if you need to talk further about anything. Okay, thank you. And thank you for watching, Gerald. Thank you.